Gods and goddesses gather around. Welcome to Mythology and Makeup. I'm Vanessa, and I'm thrilled to share my passion in mythology with you while I get ready for the day. Let's uncover the fascinating stories of mythology together, from Athena's wisdom to the captivating stories of the muses and everything in between. So grab your brushes and a mirror, and let's unleash the beauty and magic within. Happy Saturday, everyone. Welcome back for another video. I hope everyone has had an amazing week. And as always, don't forget to hit that subscribe button down below. Okay? If you guys want me to start listing the products that I use down below, I definitely will. Just let me know. Last week we left off with Aeneas sailing away from the city of Carthage. So let's jump back into it. So eventually, almost got primer in my eyeball. That would have been lovely. Eventually, Aeneas and his men made it to Deparnium, pronouncing that wrong, but it's fine. But they had already been there before, so they made it back to there again. And there they celebrated funeral games for Aeneas' father. And while they were there, Juno caused the Trojan women to burn 4 of their ships, leaving the sick to stay and settle in the city. So Aeneas took the healthiest men with him to Italy. For their safety, Venus and Neptune told the men that one of them had to die. So the pilot, who liked to sleep on the helm, fell into the sea one night and drowned. So there went the guy they needed to die. So I guess it worked out. Once they reached Cumae, a town in West Italy, Aeneas went to the temple of Apollo. This temple had been designed by Daedalus, so you know it was beautiful, because Daedalus definitely knew what he was doing. When he entered the temple, a prophecy was told to him. And this prophecy said that he must wage war in order to gain a bride. So he persuaded the Sibyl to guide him. First, he had to go to the underworld where he would see his father. He would have to obtain the golden brooch of Persephone, which is Persephone, but Roman. I know I said that wrong. So, the Sibyl took him to a lake where they entered into the underworld. Once they got to the underworld, they saw lots of different things. You know, they hung out with the ferryman, saw all sorts of departed souls, and including his ex-lover, Dido. They finally made it to the fields where all the blessed souls lived. They found Aeneas' father, who told them about the operations of the cosmos and the way that the men were purified to enter. And the long line of Aeneas' descendants who were to rule Rome and make it great, and all the way down to Augustus Caesar. After that, Aeneas and his guide made their way back to the world of the living. And once he made it back, him and his friends sailed north up the coast and made it to the Tiber River. Finally, after all this time, Aeneas had finally made it to his forever home. And this land was called Latium. But it was already ruled by a king named Latinus. And Latinus had a beautiful daughter named Lavinia. Lavinia. And it was foretold that she would marry a foreigner. When Aeneas arrived, Latinus welcomed him. I think my foundation's fucking blended enough. There it is. But his wife, Queen Ameta, wanted their daughter to marry this man named Turnus. And Turnus got incredibly jealous of Aeneas because he wanted to marry Lavinia. The people of the city didn't really like the Trojan men. So when Juno made Aeneas' son kill a pet deer, war broke out between the Trojans and the people in the city and the neighboring cities. It was just all out war. It was just, oh. Eventually, Camilla, who was a beautiful virgin warrior, joined with her warriors. Aeneas ordered that a camp be built because he knew there was a massive army about to come and try to fuck them up. One night, Tiber, the river god, appeared to Aeneas and told him that he needed to go and get help. Okay, so Aeneas went to one of the cities around, and Evander was willing to help him. And so he gave him 200 men. Because it wasn't really said how many, I don't know how many people, how many men or whatever Aeneas had with him to begin with. So, he needed some help. He definitely needed some help. And even Evander's son, Paulus, we're just going to call him Paulus, whatever. He even joined the war. See, Evander did not like the people of Latinus at all. Not one bit. Evander also told Aeneas that he needed to get more help and to go up north and get some more people to come and help them. Because those people also hated the people of Latinus. Venus gave Aeneas armor made by Vulcan. On the shield were several scenes depicting the future of the history of Rome. While Aeneas was away getting help, Turnus and his army attacked the Trojan camp. Because, why not? Their leader's gone. Let me just go ahead and attack. Turnus burned all of their ships, but Neptune turned the burnt ships into some sea nymphs at the bidding of Cybele. Aeneas told his men to stay inside of the camp for their own safety, okay? Stay here. You will be safe in the camp. Stay in the walls. Do not leave. Well, these two men decided that they needed to sneak out one night to go tell Aeneas what was going on. They were trying to go get help. They killed a couple people on their way, but they were captured by Turnus's men, and their heads were put on spikes. And so when the Trojans woke up the next morning, outside their walls, they just saw their buddies' heads just, on a spike. Should have listened to Aeneas and you wouldn't have died. Aeneas' son ended up killing a boy because he was, just out there taunting the Trojans. But Apollo told him after he did this, he was like, hey, my dude, like, I get it, like that he was, running his mouth. You had to show him who was boss, but you're your son's only child, and I really need you to, like, stay out of the war. Like, be safe, don't fight, just, you're too young. When you get a little bit older, then yes, you can join war. But until then, just do what boys do. Just stay out of it. The enemy burned one of the Trojan towers, and during this commotion, the Trojans stupidly opened one of their gates, which I don't know why they did that. Like, I really don't know. I'm going to do my blush first because I just still don't know what I'm going to do with my eyes. I have no idea what I'm going to do with my eyes. So let's just do some blush and see what I can come up with when I'm thinking. Anyways, so they open their gates, and before they have enough time to close the gates, Turnus and his men get inside of their camp, and they are just slaughtering people left and right. Just, just cutting them down, just burning, just killing them. Before all was lost, the Trojans were able to regroup under 2 captains, and they forced Turnus and his men to retreat. Aeneas finally returned that same night with a huge army behind him. And at daybreak, the ships made it to the beach, and Aeneas jumped out into the water and attacked the enemy. Latinus saw this and saw that Aeneas was killing so many men that he just started like, what the fuck? Like, oh my God, what have we gotten ourselves into? This man just came back with a bunch of people. He's just like, what the hell? Pallas, or Paulus, whatever we want to call him, led his men against Laenos. But before Pallas could kill him, Turnus came to his aid and killed Pallas. And when Aeneas found out about this, he was filled with a whole new fury. He wounded Magentus. His son, Lausus, tried to hold Aeneas off long enough so that his father could escape, but he was killed in combat. But, he tried. We can give him an A for effort. I feel like I've been doing a lot of pink looks, but I've never used this shade before. I kind of like it. I've had this palette for a while. Never used this shade. So, once Aeneas got to Lausus' dad, he killed him and took no pleasure in killing him, even though that man was just pure evil. After this, a 12-day truce was called so that both sides could tend to their wounded and mourn their dead. In the city, the queen and the king and Turnus prepared for more war. Camilla and Turnus came up with a little plan to defeat Aeneas and his troops as they rode up the narrow path. During this fight, Camilla and her warriors did great damage to Aeneas' men. But Camilla was killed in the process, so Turnus called off the ambush. After that, another truce was called. And the king and queen tried to convince Turnus to just call off the war and just let Aeneas marry their daughter. They're just like, okay, we've been at it long enough. Like, we don't need to deal with this anymore. You don't need to marry our daughter anymore. It's fine. Like, we could just let Aeneas marry her and everything will be fine. We won't be fighting anymore. There won't be war. So just let them win. But Turnus had another idea. He had an idea to challenge Aeneas in one-on-one combat. So the next morning, Aeneas and his son rode up to meet Turnus and Latinus. And before the fight, Aeneas told them, if I lose, my son will leave forever and never come back. But if I win, I'm going to marry your daughter and I will build a beautiful city in honor of her. So they started fighting, But Juno was getting all up in the business like she always does, just bugging, getting all up in businesses, and persuaded Turnus's sister, which was a nymph, to cause some confusion. And one of Turnus's men shot Aeneas with an arrow and hit him. In doing so, Turnus took this opportunity to just start killing the Trojans. They were just killing them. So Venus stepped in and healed her son so he could get back into the combat. She's like, my son, you cannot die. You cannot die. So once Aeneas was healed, he went straight for Turnus. But Turnus was on his chariot just, making it. Just getting out of there. So Aeneas chased after him for hours. And eventually Aeneas was like, you know what? Fuck that. I'm going to attack the city. I'm just going straight for the city. I don't even know what I'm doing with my eye at this point. While the Trojans assaulted the city, the queen thought that Turnus had died, so she hung herself. And I really don't know what it is with the women just, offing themselves, but they do it quite often. They just be giving up. They just, oh, he's dead. I must just kill myself. The Trojans eventually broke down one of the towers and just made it into the city. And Aeneas went straight for Turnus and they went head to head. And for a while, this little combat duel that they had going on looked very doubtful. They didn't know who was going to win, what was going on. And eventually, Turnus's weapons just shattered. His sword just shattered. And he took off. Once his sword, his weapons shattered, he just took off and was like, I'm out of here. Okay. Okay, time to figure out what else I'm going to do to my eyes. So when Turnus took off, Aeneas was like, get back here. So he hobbled after them, because they've been fighting each other. They're like a little, little beat up, little beat up there, a little shook up. And so he hobbles after him with his little crippled legs, and he catches up to Turnus, and he incapacitates him, basically. And Turnus is like begging for his dad, like, don't kill me, just let me go back to my father. And Aeneas is about to, okay, yeah, dude, like, I'll let you go back to your daddy. And he looks down, and I am just struggling with eye makeup today. He looks down, and Turnus is wearing his friend's Paulus's belt. And this just pisses him off. He just gets so pissed off. And with a fucking scream, just a scream of victory, just kills him. Just one final blow and just kills him. And Juno sees this, because she's, being all nosy, as the gods are. And she remembered a promise that Jupiter, that the Trojans and the Latins would unite as one. Oh my God, what is going on today? It's like the makeup gods don't want me to have a cute look today, I guess. Okay, let's try that again. At this point, I'm just going to do my eyes, both my eyes off camera, and then I will be back. All right, I'm back. This is the look. I like it for what I came up with. I think it looks pretty good. After Aeneas killed Turnus and everything, he, married Lavinia, Lavinia and built the city of Lavinium. Where did my thing go? Through his son, he founded the line of Alban kings, which would result in the founding of Rome. So that brings us to the end of our video today and the end of the story of Aeneas. Next week, we'll go over some more, like, what happens to after in the founding of Rome, and then we'll see what we get into after that. But I hope you guys enjoyed my video today. Hope you guys enjoyed my finished and final look. But as always, don't forget to hit the subscribe button down below and like, comment. And I will be seeing you guys next week with another video. In the meantime, you guys have a great day, and I'll see you guys next week. Bye, guys.